And from that day onwards, being a life coach, that hit me hard because I felt like I failed him, especially being with him that night. I had that guilt. Like, at no point did you speak to me, at no point, you know, he seemed so normal, but that's what we do as men. Do you know what I mean? Where every day we're okay, men don't cry and whatnot. So ever since that happened, I've taken it very, very serious. And so to answer your question, what does mental health mean to me? Mental health for men. So I'll answer mental health for both sexes, but I want to start off for men. For me, it's, I personally, and this is me, why I do what I do with life coaching and why I do what I do on social media is I'm trying to normalize men speaking up. So how you said you see me on social media and you told your partner this guy's great, I want to normalize that. So men are known for keeping things internally.
Guys, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to another episode of the Podghost Podcast. As you can see, it's another one of me on my own. Opposite me today is Ray Sefah, international life coach and co-founder of Step Now. My brother, thank you very much for coming on. That was a long handshake.
Yes, bro.
How are you, brother?
I'm very well, thank you.
Talk to me.
I'm very well. Thank you for having me, firstly.
Pleasure's mine, bro.
Honored. You know, the vibes have been, obviously we've been talking offline and getting me here. Like, it's just always been vibes, man. So I'm looking forward to it, and we could keep the same energy and have a good show.
Inshallah, my brother.
Yes,
bro, you know what? I always start off with my guests.
Yeah.
Firstly, thanking you for coming down. Mm-hmm. And I know with you, bro, you're a very busy guy, bro. Very busy guy.
Humbly.
I remember humbly, yeah, bro. But I remember coming across your stuff not too long ago.
Right.
And I said to my partner, I said, bro, I want to get this guy Ray on, man. Okay. I go, we've actually never had a life coach on our show.
Okay.
First time.
Right.
And it was more to do with your messages.
Thank you.
And the way I thought they were so heartfelt and meaningful, bro. So for that, you know what? You smashed it with that.
Thank you, bro.
So I want to start off with you, bro. Always going back to your early years.
Okay.
I always think where you are today, bro, there's a long build up to it.
Of course.
After reading some of your stuff, bro, you know, your stuff goes back long way. So tell us, bro, from the beginning, where were you brought up?
Okay. Cool.
All that sort of stuff. Let's go, bro.
Problem. All right, cool. Born and raised in South London, Waterloo, St. Thomas's to be precise. If we're going.
Yeah, bro. Postcode. Let's get them in.
Yeah, I was born in Waterloo, St. Thomas's Hospital, and I was actually born premature, but like I'm talking severe, not the odd day or two. I'm talking a couple months.
Wow.
So yeah, you could say Rocky Balboa from young. You know, and it wasn't just being premature. I also had a hernia and bronchitis. So yeah, man, it was a tough. It must have been tough for my mum, as you can imagine. A mother having a child, and then they're in the incubator. You know, they've got a hernia, they've got all of these things. But you know, looking back now, I clearly was a fighter. I was meant to be here. So yeah, born premature. I've got a lot of siblings, but for my mother's womb, there's two of us. But the rest, my dad has multiple children with other mothers. But we're still quite close, even though we have separate mothers. We
still blessed with each other.
Yeah, we definitely knew of each other. Was raised together with some and whatnot. So I'm from a big family.
Oh, blessed, man. Nice.
My grandma had 8 children. So my mum's side, my grandma had 8 children. My dad had quite a lot. So I grew up with a lot of my cousins. There's about 30 of us in total.
Wow.
And we all
so quite army, bro.
Yeah. So family-wise, like a really, really connected siblings and cousins and whatnot. So I had a decent upbringing, although my mother was branded as a single mother because my dad wasn't there, right? Although I knew who my dad was, like I knew what he looked like, but he wasn't in my life. So it was my mum literally raised me, but with the help of her 4 brothers. So she's got 4 brothers and 3 sisters, but her brothers played a pivotal role. So, you know, like statistically, when you got no father, you lack the fatherhood side of things. I didn't really lack it because I had older brothers, older cousins, and my uncles played a massive part. Even till this day, they still play a massive part in my life. I actually support Arsenal because of one of them. So yeah, never
go into that in a bit. Go on, bro.
Die hard Arsenal fan because of one of my uncles. So yeah, my uncles really chipped in raising a young.
It's like a father figure, isn't it, bro?
Yeah, 100%. And I have 4 of them that really. To be fair, 3 of them, one was in Ghana, but the 3 that was in the UK played a pivotal role in raising me. And then my older cousins, older brothers, like they all contributed too. So I wouldn't really say I lacked the father figure, even though statistically I didn't actually like it, if you get what I'm saying.
Of course, bro, yeah.
But then growing up in South London, so born in Waterloo, but my home was actually in Stockwell. And for those who know South London, Stockholm,
Of course.
Brixton, them days,
Oof.
was it wasn't the greatest
Different
place,
level,
right? Statistically, being a single mother, growing up in them environments, it's tough, you know. You got to be a boy's boy to handle yourself. And if I'm honest with you, I was raised well. My mother raised me very, very well.
Yes, man.
And my grandma raised me well, like morally. You know, my moral compass was always right. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When you're around that sort of environment, you do what the environment does. So playing football, as every kid does, I didn't not make it because of a knee injury. Mine was just down to bad influence. When my friends were going out, instead of me having the discipline to say no, I'd follow them. I was getting into little bits and bobs with them when I should have been going training, whatnot. But I'm very honest with it now. I take the accountability. Yeah. But then things started going a bit left when I hit when I finished secondary school, about 16, 17, I really got involved in the gang culture. You know, before it's just little things. But then when I finished secondary school, I started getting involved, like really getting involved. One of my friends got killed and another one of my friends went away for 19 years. So I actually came over to East London. One of my cousins was doing something different. He was still doing the road stuff, but not the heavy stuff, not like the machineries and the whatnot. And he told me, move away from mum's because it's mum's house. You don't want police always coming there and whatnot. So come out to East London with me. And I did. So I moved out at the age of 17 and I came to East London, Ilford to be precise. First time moving away from home, you know, no more mummy's cooking no more. And I was doing my thing in East. I still wasn't legit. I was doing like a couple bits and bobs on the streets, nothing heavy, but still just, you know, trying to make ends meet. Until I was doing that for from 17 to about 20. And then my sister, when I was 21, one day I got a phone call from my sister, and I was really close with this sister, like close in age.
Yeah.
Got a call from her saying that my 7-year-old niece, her daughter, her partner had been shot, killed with a double-barrel shotgun, broad daylight, in Shepherd's Bush. And yeah, I can honestly say that's the day when, you know the saying, have you ever heard of the saying when they say, if you live by the gun, you die by the gun, or if you're on the streets, there's only 2 ways you're going to end up dead or in jail. You always hear these things, but it was the first time in my life when obviously it's now hit my family. It's a thing where I'm deep in that exact saying because I saw what it done to my family firsthand. You know, my sister was she was 6 months pregnant at that time with my nephew as well. So you can imagine she's got a 7-year-old daughter and she's currently pregnant with a 6-month-old son. So that was horrific. You know, it was a wake-up call for me and my siblings and my cousins and my family, period, because, you know, he's flat out dead, and it was to do with gang violence and things that we were involved. So, but it's like we had the taste of what it feels like on this side, you know. And yeah, me and my sister were quite close, and just seeing her pregnant with a boy, I don't know what happened, you know. Obviously now I'm older, I can say it was God, but at that time, I'm honest, I weren't really into God, but I just knew something was different. I saw this my nephew in her, and I thought, this can't go on. His uncles are doing this. His dad died from that.
Deep.
Like something's got to give, you know. And my sister had a conversation with me closer to his birth when she was like 8 to 9 months, and she was just like, I might need your help with this one. Like, you know, your dad's not here no more. You know, I might need your help with this. You know, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I definitely know I'm going to need some form of support. And one of my business partners that I'm on Step Now with, he's like my good friend. Have you ever had a friend that's he knows everything that's going on and he knows everyone, but he's a good kid. He just knows everyone. That's this friend of mine. I called him and I said, bro, you're legit. You're that good kid. Like, can you help me get a job? And he laughed instantly. He said, bro, you haven't even used your NI number before, you know, your national insurance number before. But like I said, good pal of mine, he stuck to it and he helped me get a job. And this job was not easy, bro. Bearing in mind, I'm coming from the streets where you make a couple quid here and there. Of
course.
This job here was you was a delivery driver for people that buy cars. So you're the drop off.
Yeah, dropping off the vehicles. Yeah,
you dress up in a suit and you drop off the cars to them, and you're dropping it off to, like, you know, working class people that are a bit snobby, you know, and whatnot. So you can imagine my ego was getting rubbed heavy because you're dropping a car off to them and they're doing things like that to you, shushing you, and the train station is down there. Like it was.
Yeah, I get that.
It was a really degrading job, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if you had an ego anyway, and I did at that time because I'm coming off the streets. But I stuck at it, and my friend was telling me, no, this is the game. Sometimes you got to work your way up. You got to humble yourself. And, he was really guiding me through this working world. And I'm happy he did, because I ended up on the journey of doing this job. I ended up meeting a guy that helped me called Freeman. Big up Freeman if he's ever going to see this.
Yeah, big up Freeman if you're watching, bro.
Right. Freeman, blessed guy, Ghanaian guy, older than me. He just took a liking to me. Although I was rough on the edges, my mannerisms and my home training was always vibrant. And he said to me, I like you. Although I can see, you're rough on the edges and you might need a little work on you, I can see there's something in you, and he said he's going to help me like get a better job. He didn't straight away, but he stuck to his word. I got a call like about a year later about an opportunity. He took me to Ferrari, Park Royal. And yeah, from then onwards, when I got exposed to Ferrari, there's a saying that I believe it's a stretched mind from new experiences can never go back to its old dimension. And it was exactly that, like the world being introduced to Ferrari and being able to work for Ferrari from where I'm coming from, being a black Ghanaian, South London, single mother, stigmas, all of these, whatever, working for Ferrari and being given that opportunity was a game changer for me. I couldn't go back to what I knew anymore after I've been introduced to this amazing environment, and potentially could change my life. Stuck at Ferrari for a while. I was there for about a year. I'm not going to go into the details. It wasn't as smooth as he just got me the job. I had to obviously work hard. I had to put in the work like this. Got there in the end. Stayed there for about a year. And then after Ferrari, I went over to Bentley. I done a sales training course at Bentley, but it was like a competition where you got to take on a lot of people, and then it's out of 1,000 candidates, and then the winner becomes like a trainee, gets a sales role. Long story short, I didn't win it, but I came third. But coming third, still a massive achievement. And I think it was like over 1,000 contestants. So you can imagine, like, it's still a massive achievement. So at this point here, I'm fully legit. I'm working for two big companies. I'm feeling myself, man. I'm not doing anything illegal no more. I'm an uncle to my nephew. My nephew's born at this point now. I'm helping my sister out with my niece. I'm a responsible lad at this point now.
Yeah, I like that, bro.
And after Bentley not winning it, I was a bit disheartened, but I was still grateful. I then moved over to Toyota. I was working at Toyota. I've done about 5 years there. But while I was at Toyota, the hustler in me, even though I'd come off the streets, the hustler mentality was still with me. On my 5th year at Toyota, I said, you know what, I've got enough experience in the motor trade. I actually want to start my own car company. So I created a car company. It's a customization company. Like, do you remember Pimp My Ride?
Of course, yeah.
Where like you do tints, car wraps, alloys. I started a car company called Prestige M. There was a branch at Enfield and a branch in Cricklewood where I worked with techs that do all sorts of customizations, and we're just getting in footballers, we're getting in rappers, we're just helping people's cars look the part.
Yeah.
And I called it Prestige M because when I was on the streets, my name was called M. But I couldn't call it what it originally was because it was not professional. So I said, you know what, I'm going to call it Prestige M, but I'll highlight the E and the M at the end with red writing. So that's what the shop was, that's what the company was called. And to be honest with you, it was how can I put it? It was the first time that I was proud of myself, like opening up Prestige M and doing it and seeing people come in and, using the service.
You created that.
Literally from scratch, with the people that helped me, of course, but it was a proud moment for me because I know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from South London. We don't open up car garages like this, So yeah, was doing Prestige M, it done phenomenal. I had footballers coming in, rappers coming in, celebrities, you name it, they were coming in, and it was doing really, really well. And then one day, I got put up for like an award for Prestige M. I think it was like 3 years in. Nothing major. It was just like a recognition award of like hard work and, young black men that's doing positive things. And at this award ceremony, there was a gentleman there who said something to all winners. He said, it's all good winning things and I'm proud of you lot. But I want to ask you this question. If you died today, what have you done for humanity? And I kid you not, I went to this award ceremony with one of my good pals, and we got back into the car, and that question was ringing in my head. If I died today, what have I done for humanity? And I was in the car all the way home just thinking about that question. And I said, yes, I've created Prestige M, but that's for me. It's my ego, it's my name, it's my brand. But the question of what have I done for humanity, I actually hadn't done anything. And that's the day we birthed Step Now. I called I was with one of them, co-founders. I was with him that day.
Yep.
So we went home and we was just buzzing, and then we called up my other friend, the friend I told you that helped me get a job. And then we called up my other friend. So there's 4 of us that own it, and we said, okay, what have we done for humanity? There's young black boys just like us who never got helped just like us, that are still in the hood, still narrow-minded, still doing whatever they were doing. Let's go back into schools. Let's go back into our community. Let's go back into prisons and give back. And that's the day we birthed Step Now. Step Now is a youth organization that helps. It helps all children, but we do focus heavily on Black, Asian, our kind of people that have kind of like from low deprived backgrounds. And when we help them with financial literacy, like helping them understand APR, money, mortgages, anything that they might need help with as an adult. We help them with relationships, both romantic and non-romantic, understanding how to talk to people, negotiate, respectful mannerisms, all of that. We help them with purpose, career. A lot of people don't know what they're doing. They've been forced by their parents, be a doctor, be a lawyer, but they don't know what they want to do. And then last but not least, we help them with the stigmas around mental health and the stigmas around physical health. So we help them understand how important it is to be healthy, not just for a six-pack, but actually to be healthy. And then we also help them with the mental health side of things, like the stigmas around depression, the stigmas around what mental health looks like for a young person. So those are the 4 pillars that we help people with Step Now. Been running that for 7 years. And that's now if I was to be asked the question, what have I done for humanity? I know what the answer now is. I've helped my younger self, which is all the young generation, 7 years straight. We're talking thousands of young people now, kept some people's children alive from knife crime, from giving them opportunities, jobs, and that's the purpose. And then COVID happened, and a lot of people was going through mental health adults wise, and everyone was reaching out to myself and my partners and being like, we know what you do with the kids, can you help us as adults? I was quite reluctant to, because it wasn't part of the purpose. But then I went out to Dubai and I started coaching a couple people out there, and I got familiar with it and I actually enjoyed it. So I'd done a couple courses in Dubai, came back, was qualified. Then I helped people here. I started enjoying it, and I said, okay, Step Now, but I'm also going to be a life coach separately as well. And at that time, Step Now had grew. We had a team now, so I could actually drift off and do life coaching, because Step Now had built its own reputation. We had staff that could still do the schools and whatnot. So yeah, since COVID, I was coaching before that, but like legally coaching now and professionally since COVID. So for the last 4 years, just proper been coaching adults, helping them all sorts. We're talking divorce, breakups, miscarriages, drug abuse, alcohol, whatever it is, just helping people just navigate through, especially men. I help everyone, but I focus a lot on men because, as you know, the numbers of men suicide is quite heavy. So yeah, just helping people. That's just my purpose now. I just want to live in it. I enjoy it. I know it's God's work as well, most importantly. And yeah, just try and make it fun as well.
Bro, you know what? You spoke so well about the whole mental health side. Because one thing that me and my partner cover on this podcast is mental health.
Oh,
and it's mad you just start talking about mental health yourself.
Right.
We've always said on this show that, and it's not that I'm, saying women don't go through mental health, but I think with women, the awareness is there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There's things like prenatal depression after babies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I always think that no one really cares about the man. There's they do, but I mean, not as much as they should. Because I think a lot of pressure does fall on men.
Right.
Whether it's financial, whether it's, just being a man, bro. It's not easy in this day and age, So the fact that you brought up that, I want to ask you, what does mental health mean to you as a man?
Okay. I'm big on mental health because one of my good friends, during just a year after COVID, we was all out, and I left around 1 a.m. because I had an early start. He actually committed suicide that same day, but towards the end. So he committed suicide around 5
in the morning.
So we was all out. Our friend came out of hospital. We was all chilling. We like a celebration for my friend that just came out of hospital. I've left at 1 because I got an early start. I get a text in the morning at 5.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. And from that day onward, being a life coach, that hit me hard because I felt like I failed him, especially being with him that night. I had that guilt. Like, at no point did you speak to me. At no point, he seemed so normal, but that's what we do as men. Do you know what I mean? Every day we're okay. Men don't cry and whatnot. So ever since that happened, I've taken it very, very serious. And so to answer your question, what does mental health mean to me? Mental health for men So I'll answer mental health for both sexes, but I want to start off for men. For me, it's I personally, and this is me, why I do what I do with life coaching and why I do what I do on social media is I'm trying to normalize men speaking up. So how you said you see me on social media and you told your partner this guy's great, I want to normalize that. So men are known for keeping things internally, like they don't talk up, they don't speak to their wife, they don't speak every day. I'm okay.
Why do you think that is? I'm just asking. What's your opinion on that?
As a black man, and growing up as a black man and around Asians too. So I'll say Afro-Caribbeans, Africans and Asians. I can't speak for white culture because I'm not white, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't raised around that sort of demographic. But I definitely feel with Asians, black, Afro-Caribbean and Africans, remember we're raised with parents that are culturally men don't cry. You know, if you hurt yourself, like if you and your sister hurt yourself,
no, I feel that.
Allow your sister to cry, but yes, for you, it's toughen up, man. Come on, man. Like, and it's not to blame them, but it's the culture, it's the stigmas, it's, you know, how we've been raised. Like, you know, protect your sister. Why are you crying? Man up. And these stigmas are not good, by the way, but it's just the reality of how we were raised. You know, so I think that even though these stigmas are not good, without us knowing, it's become our wiring. So we've grown up now as adults where we subconsciously, men don't cry. Subconsciously don't talk your business. Like, I'm from an African home and you're not meant to be a chatty patty from an African home. Whatever happens in your house stays in your house. So unconsciously growing up, even though now I'm aware it's wrong, I have to be very conscious to snap out of it and say, no, it's okay to talk to another man about what's going on without it being, you know, too much in detail, but at least surface level and say, bro, I'm not okay today. But growing up, you wasn't allowed to say you're not okay today. You're meant to just always ponder on. And then you see your dad doing it. You see your uncles doing it. So you just think that this is just the way men are. Men don't talk. Men just crack on. You know, and you hear these stigmas. Just get on with it. Crack on with it. You know, whether you're a geezer, whether you're black, whether you're Asian. Come on, man. Get up. Go on in. And I understand why, because we're men. But when you see the suicide rates, you got to think, there's a saying, just because you keep doing it doesn't mean it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So even though these stigmas are real of crack on, men don't cry, if you look at the statistics of the suicide rates, you got to look back and think, these stigmas we might have to look at these again. We might have to look at the wiring of how men are, and maybe we have to, you know, do it a better way, because these numbers are horrendous.
Shocking.
They're shocking.
Mad, bro.
You know, so yeah, going back to why I started all of this, I want someone, whether they're young or old, if they don't want to talk to their friends, if they don't want to talk to their wives, if they go on their phone and they see Raysefah who looks like them, I don't do my videos in a shirt, in a tie. I don't want any
very relatable content in general.
You understand? I want to wear snapbacks sometimes. I want to be relaxed sometimes. I want to look like them, because a depressive person isn't in a shirt and a tie. They're probably in the bathrobe at home drinking. They're probably in a t-shirt. They're probably be at home just depressed. You know what I mean? So I want a depressed person who's going through mental health to see my video and I look like them. I'm relatable like them. I'm making it comfortable like them. And I talk about things that they're probably going through, and they could be like, he's going through what I'm going through. And I want to normalize that he's unapologetically talking to the public about what he's going through. Now, if I can be that one person that can be the voice for all of us, like basically, I want to be the social media friend that no one talks to their friends. But if you can talk to me, I'm not a real person. If you can talk back to me virtually and say, Ray, I'm going through that too. And normalize it and DM me. And, you know, I get DMs from people all over the world saying, brother, thank you, man. I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was the only one that's going through it. I'm like, no, bro, we're all going through it, but men don't talk. So if I can be that vessel, you know, let's just say God sent me down to be that public vessel to let every man who's about to jump, or every man that's about to slit their wrist, or every man that's about to drink that bottle, or every man that's about to take that heroin, if they can watch my video and say, I don't need to do that, Ray's going through it too. Oh my gosh, it's not just me.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's normal. Because when I watched some documentary in New York, and they spoke to the survivors of the people that tried to commit suicide but failed. And I kid you not, they spoke to about 50 different people that tried to jump off this New York bridge. Every single survivor said, when I jumped at that moment, whether it was true or not, at that moment when I jumped, I felt like I was the only one going through what I was going through. So for me, when I heard that and what happened with my friend, I thought, if my friend at that party that we was at felt whatever he was feeling that made him go into that rut. If he felt that Ray's going through that, he probably still would be here because it's that familiarity.
I agree with that. Yeah, 100%, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah, I feel that.
You know, so if I can visibly, globally, wherever you are in the world, there's one page. Whenever you're feeling low, scroll on Raysefah. If I can be that social friend that can make everyone, bro, you just got made redundant. I've been made redundant, bro. It's okay.
It's cool.
It's cool,
Head up,
bro.
yeah.
Head up, bro. Or my wife just had a miscarriage. It's okay, bro. You're gonna go again, and by the grace of God, God will grant you another child. It's okay, bro. Yeah. I just lost some money. We all, you know, investments, it goes wrong sometimes, whatever. If I can come on in and say, listen, I done an investment in my first business, and I know what it feels like to get it wrong, but it's okay. I went again. I kept on going, and by the grace of God, I've got another one. That person might be like, wow, okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, it's just that I'm trying to create a brotherhood. Just normalizing us to be able to speak up and feel comfortable with it, you know, and hopefully it can make a change.
Bro, that was so well put, man. Honestly, but what you're trying to say, bro, is like a ray of light, you know? Whenever you're going through a problem,
Yeah.
I always think like, I'm a bit like that, bro. I've got to be honest to you. If I'm going through a problem,
Yeah.
I'm not headstrong in the sense that I won't think to myself. I just start thinking like, man, I don't ever have them suicidal
Right,
thoughts, and God
right.
bless them people that do,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
for me, it's
Exactly.
a mental problem,
Of course.
you know, where they feel like there's no other way
Yeah.
to escape. But you see the issues around the world, bro.
Yeah.
Then people can be strong for what they're going through without sounding too political.
Yeah.
Who are we, bro? And what are we going through? But some people are not as strong as others.
Of course.
So with me, when I'm going through a little bit of a thing, my wife will always say it. You're bloody nuts. You start whipping the hand, you start screaming. I don't go scream. I just don't know how to sometimes handle pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure sometimes hits me in all different ways, bro.
Right.
So, them people that go through that stuff, and it's like, when I came across your stuff, bro, I remember just sitting there. I scrolled one video, then I'm going through all of it. Then I'm going through, the next thing you know, I'm just watching every one of your videos,
Thank
bro,
you,
because
bro.
it was so relatable, bro. So, congratulations on that as well, bro.
Thank
'Cause
you,
that,
brother.
the way you've nailed that, I think the best thing was the fact that you look like one of us
Yeah.
with the beard, the trim.
Yeah.
And like you said, bro, I think that's where people don't understand that you can look like us, but just have a mindset where someone can listen to you and go, bro, this guy's like a brother, man.
Yeah, that's it.
So if you want to reach out to Raysefah, make sure just message him, and I'm 100% certain he'll get back to you. Go back to me straight away as well. So
I'm a humble guy. I'm the normal guy, man.
Amazing, Ray. But Ray, I want to speak about another issue that I think, and I want your view on this, and it's social media, bro. Because social media, bro, I believe is the catalyst of everything that's going wrong in this world today.
100%.
And
I
it
agree.
does kind of relate to mental health.
Yeah.
But I want to speak and get like a professional person's view on, what's your view on social media?
Okay. I'm on
It's
it.
a long answer, bro.
No. It's all good. It's all good. I'm on it. I use it. But I believe that with everything, if everything in life, you have to have balance.
Yeah.
Everything. I think that too much of something is bad. And I think too less of something is bad with every walk of life. And once I break this down, you're going to understand, right? Okay. Water. The purest thing on this planet. Yeah, everything's bad for you these days, but let's just say water is the most purest thing, right?
Yep.
Try and drink 5 liters of this a day and see what happens to you. Yeah, you're going to probably need to get it pumped out of you. You're going to end up in hospital. Yeah, 5 liters of that. But then try and drink none. You're going to be dehydrated. You're going to get a headache. You're going to pass out. You're going to get a migraine. Yeah? Balance. 2 liters, 2.5. Yeah, 5 liters of water is too much. You end up in hospital. No water, you end up in hospital. Bang in the middle. And with that analogy, that's the purest thing in the world. So too much of the purest thing in the world is still bad for you. And less of it is too. Yeah?
So true.
So
Well
you
put,
need balance, right? Now, social media, we use it. You use it, I use it. It's helped so many people. But I believe if you don't understand a balance with it and you overdose, like what we just said about the water, it's going to be detrimental to you. And then there's people that don't use it at all, who are business owners, for example, and they're expecting them to get customers from just yellow pages. Gone are those days, you need to use social media if you're a business owner.
Yeah, true.
If you're a brand owner, if you do clothing, How are people gonna know your clothing line's out if you don't ever promote?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gone are the days where you use yellow pages. Gone are the days where
I haven't heard that word yellow pages.
you know what
I'm laughing, but I've not heard it for
gone are those
decades.
days where the local community lot know about your business. It doesn't work like that no more. So I do believe people need social media, you know, to get promotion out, to get awareness out. You know, we're talking about mental health. If I didn't do my social media, do you know how much lives I've probably saved? You know,
you wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be. Do you know what I'm saying? So I do believe there's good in social media, but just like the water, drink 2 liters of water of it in the middle. Don't drink none because your business won't ever do well. It's no promo. But don't drink too much because you'll end up in hospital because the water will drown you. Social media, there's people that depend on it too much.
Absolutely.
They've gone to that level where it's their everything, where their lives are being controlled by it. So what they're doing is they're waking up, they're looking at you doing well, me doing well, but they're not seeing, you've read my journey. I'm 10 years in this. I'm 10 years in this game, whether it's my car company, step now 7 years, you know, coaching's for 6 years. Like, I'm 10 years in. But what social media will do, especially a new follower will come and see a guy, beard, 300,000 followers. They're going to think that I've done this year. So what they're going to do, they're going to compare it to their life and think, look at him. He's roughly my age and he's doing so well. He's on that podcast. He's on that show. He's got online courses that cost so much. But they're not realizing, remember my first job? When I was delivering cars, I was on £5 an hour, if that, you know. But social media doesn't show when I'm on £5 an hour. Social media shows what I'm currently on. So that person's going to take in too much of it and then depression kicks in. And then when women, it's the same with bodies. That person who's got a 6-pack, who's been gymming 10 years, a woman will see that and say, I need a BBL. That woman's got this body. But no, that person's probably been in a gym for 10 years.
Absolutely.
So it's just about take it with a pinch of salt and realize it's an app. Some people are really thinking social media is real life. Like they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is just scrolling, thinking that it's their real life. And what they're doing is they're comparing themselves. And, you know, you're a man of God, right? You've heard this saying, comparison is the thief of joy. You know, the minute you start comparing yourself, you've robbed yourself. Whatever joy you've had, you've robbed it because you're looking at someone else's faith. You're looking at someone else's gift. You're looking at someone else's purpose and you're comparing that to yours. But as you know, being a man of God, everyone's got individual gift. I can never do what you do, bro. You can watch my videos and try your hardest to emulate it. It's never going to be the same as mine because what God's given me, my voice, the way I say things, whatever, my purpose, my gift to do for his people, he's given you something else. But what social media does is, and this is why depression is so high and why social media is doing what it's doing with depression is, I've got a gift and my gift is to speak to people. Someone else will see me doing that. I need to do that. But God's given you a different gift. Your gift might be to help people in a wheelchair. But what you're going to do, you're going to dismiss God's gift to help people in a wheelchair and try and do Ray's gift. But my gift is different from yours. But because you're seeing Ray doing more on social media, you neglect the gift that God's given you, which is to help people in a wheelchair. And now I want to be a public speaker like Ray. You have to obey God's gift and God's purpose. So stop watching people on social media. I want to do that. No, that's their gift. And they're doing well in that gift because that gift's from God. And when God gives you a gift, it's always going to do well because it's his work. It's not. So what I do on social media, I don't take credit from it. You know, in every one of my videos, you're seeing the thing. I say, all praise to God. I'm just God's vessel. God ain't a human. He can't come and do the work. So he goes through people. And this is my gift. So people that come on social media, I want to be like Ray. No, you need to speak to God, find your gift and run with it. And when you find your gift, because it's from God, God don't make mistakes. Humans do. Whatever gift he's given you, he will make sure you do it accordingly and you'll make an income from it. You will help people from it and it will do well. And that's the one thing I want people, whoever's listening, please find your gift. Stop comparing yourself. Stop, oh, he's doing this. I want to do that. He's got views. No, find your purpose. Find your gift. Trust the process of God. And I promise you will flourish. And take social media with a pinch of salt. Because, anyway, I'll get too emotional. But I'm going to leave it there.
I was listening. So where would you say, how would someone know where to draw the line? Because there isn't a line, bro. Now you can say too much or too less. But in your opinion, and it's not a right or wrong answer, it's just an opinion. What would you say would be the break? Just leave it at that.
Right. I'll go
Tough
back to,
question,
I
but-
go back to the word, the balance. I feel like, first of all, people need to understand what balance is. Balance is, like we spoke about the water, it's that middle ground. Yeah? It's that middle ground where, okay, you got children, right?
Alhamdulillah.
And you're a business owner.
Yep.
Now, there is people who have made $1 million, but at the cost of making that $1 million, they've lost their wife and their children. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Of course.
Yeah, there's so many. I coach them. They're the richest people are most likely the most depressed because they're so poor that all they have is money. Don't let that go over your head. Yeah, they're so poor that all they have is money. Yeah. Now, making money is great. Every man should make money because we're providers. But if your focus is on money, you're gonna lose out on your family. And you're going to give your family the money, but they're going to turn around. As you know, you got kids. Kids, what do they say? Daddy, I wish you was there. I wish you pushed me on a swing. Even though you paid for us to go to Hawaii or whatever, Dubai, I wish you was there, which is priceless. If you focus so much on buying presents, you don't realize that kids actually want the present. And the presents. Do you understand? They're the same words, but different spellings. You're busy spending presents, but they want your presence. And that's what I mean about balance. Entrepreneurs, I want money. But then you're neglecting your family. And then we go the opposite way. We go the opposite route. There's people who, they love their family so much and they're the present fathers, but then they don't hustle. So then they end up losing their family as well, because it's like you are this great father, but you don't work. You don't hustle. So the best thing to do is the one that's a bum, that's got all the time, a bit too much time, he needs to work a bit. And the one that works too much, he needs to rein it down and work, but also love your family. But it comes down to the middle. He needs a bit of him and he needs a bit of him. He needs to spend more time with his family. He needs to spend less time with his family because that's all he's doing. And he's fighting with his wife because his wife's like the bills are, all of that. So this guy needs to work a bit more and this guy needs to work a bit less and find that balance. But the way social media is, and it's very smart, the ones that created it, they're amazingly smart.
Yeah, they're next level.
They've made us all want to be millionaires. That's the goal.
And they've made it look like it's easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Be a millionaire, be a millionaire. I tell you something, and you're going to laugh when I say this. Growing up, I've seen many millionaires commit suicide. I've never seen a homeless man commit suicide or a crackhead. I'm sure the area you grew up in, there was them crackheads there or them homeless people there. They're still there today. Poor people don't commit suicide. Like, the homeless lot. But rich people do. And that's what social media has done. Social media has made us think that the goal of this earth is money. But the richest people are the most depressed because they have money, but they have nothing else.
Deep.
They have the money.
So mad.
But they have nothing else. Yeah, they will come to their wife. I made the $1 million. I just hit the £1 million deal. The wife's tapped out. You've got the money. I'm happy for you. But you didn't do this for us. Because the times that I needed you, when your wife might have a hard day, the kids are stressing her out, one of the kids might have ADHD, whatever, you're out there, baby, I'm in San Francisco, I'm making the money. The time you come back, she's dealt with the ADHD kids. She's dealt with the bad behavior. She's done all the school runs. She's done parents' evening. So you've come home with a meal. The meal's pointless at that point. You've lost your wife's mental health. Your kids don't know you. All because of what social media. Be a millionaire. Get the bag. Get the money. At what cost? And don't get me wrong. I'm an entrepreneur. By the grace of God, I reach 1 million. But I only want to reach 1 million if I'm not losing my surroundings. And I don't mean just my family. I mean if I'm not losing my humanity levels. If I'm not losing my faith. If I don't want to hurt no one in the process. And most importantly, I don't want to lose my integrity. But social media makes everyone believe money, whether you lose your integrity, whether if you're a woman, you show your cleavage, whether if you're a man, you rob a next person. Like it's just selling people dreams of just get it done. Be an entrepreneur. Wake up at 5 a.m. Go and do this. Go and buy that house. If you're not doing that, you're failing. If you're 30 and you don't have a house, you're failing. Like what? Like social media ain't God. God determines what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know. Me and you, we're here today. I might not be here tomorrow. And everyone would say, don't say that, God forbid. No, it's God's will.
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
the reality. So when I'm hearing timelines that social media does, 30, have a house, 35, be married. What? I didn't know the algorithm is God's. I'm on God's algorithm. I'm not on this metrics of meta algorithm. I'm on God's algorithm because he's the only person that knows my tomorrow and he knows your tomorrow. But we're so focused on that algorithm that we're forgetting God's algorithm. And when we forget God's algorithm, we jump on their algorithm, we end up depressed. You can't tell me a person that's been on God's algorithm and that's depressed. It's not possible.
Not once.
Not once, bro. Not once. So I humbly say to you and whoever's listening, jump on God's algorithm. Don't jump on the algorithm. Forget the views, the likes, the whatever. What is that? What's that if you're going to lose your wife? What's that if you're going to lose your sanity? What's that if you're going to lose your heart? What is that? What, a million views, but you have no heart. A million views and you have got no respect for elders. A million views and you're showing your cleavage. A million views and you're disrespecting the Lord. A million views and your wife is going for it. God forbid.
Bro, deep. I was into thoughts with that answer, bruv.
Yeah.
Damn. Bro, you mentioned, women showing off their cleavage and stuff like that. And I know it's completely off the topic, but it's always important to get people's views on these things. And I've always said nowadays, it is about social media, but it's about morals, like you just said now. And growing up, we didn't see this.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I'm sure I'm speaking for you as well.
Yeah.
You see all this stuff like OnlyFans and OF, and you see it's becoming a regular trend now. And I'm not judging no one, by the way. I'm just speaking because it's a fact now, and you can't get away from it, bro.
Yeah.
They're sponsoring now football clubs.
Yep.
They're sponsoring.
Yep.
You're seeing it everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
The two questions I've got for you, bro, is number one, what does that mean to the generation growing up now? Because money, bro, when we used to be, like you just said, bro, get a job, go and work. People now think they can just sit at home, especially the girls out there then who are growing up and watching this shit. And what's your view on the fact that a lot of them now, bro, they want to get into that. They want to like you just said, bro, they're thinking what? Take your top off, make a couple of $100 a day. And, I've recently been watching a few podcasts. The girls are talking about how they make millions in a year, bro.
They do.
And I want to get your view on that, bro. And what that does to a person mentally.
Yeah.
Because it's all good looking at it and you're looking at the money because you're talking so deeply about, making money, but losing yourself in the process.
Yeah.
And that just came to my head straight away.
Right.
And I think that absolutely goes hand in hand with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing that sort of stuff and you're seeing your money going up and you're like, bro, I made all this money, I can make this sort of money every day.
100%.
But what do they lose in the long run? Because you mentioned something off camera earlier about tattoos. And I wonder if you can put it all together, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. Not offline, we were talking about, I watched Jonathan Ross and he interviewed with Cristiano Ronaldo. And he asked him, saying, as a footballer, every footballer's got a tattoo. It's maybe the first goal they scored for their team when they had their first child. R.I.P. mum, R.I.P. dad. They get tattoos, right?
Meaningful
ones as well. And they asked Ronaldo, a guy like you who's won everything. How come you haven't got one tattoo?
Other than the World Cup.
You haven't. Yeah, he didn't. You're right. He won the Euros though, right?
yeah.
But they were. Jonathan Ross is expecting him to have his 5 Ballon d'Ors on his right arm or whatever. Of course. Ronaldo turned around and said, "I'm not going to be a footballer forever. I'm gonna. Unfortunately, it's a career that's going to be cut short one day down to my physical attributes. So he said, after that, I've got a family to feed, and I would want to get into some sort of film. I would want to maybe do politics, whatever it is. And he goes, if I get tattoos, it will naturally limit my roles. Especially footballers, they get their neck ones. They get
the teardrops and stuff on their face.
All, and as we know, with filming. Being on TV or being in politics, you never want to be capped because once you start getting them certain tattoos, you're only going to get gangster roles or, flamboyant guy roles. You won't get a president role. You won't get a corporate role.
No, I feel that.
Do you know what I mean? So Ronaldo said it on camera, like, I don't want to ever limit myself for life after football. And that hit me hard because it's the level of discipline. You know how easy it is for him to have got his kids. He's got 5 kids. He could have got his kids at the back of him. He could have got the day his dad died, whatever. But for him to say, no, I want a better career for me and my family after I retire. So I'm going to not follow the trends of the world and get a tattoo. You know, that's how I feel. And I'm awake now. Obviously, I've been young. I've made certain mistakes. I've done whatever. But now I'm awake. I'm trying to look at life how Ronaldo does. I'm not just looking at my today. I'm looking at my tomorrow. Of course, if God wills, you know, without fail, God's the one that grants tomorrow. But as a human, you got to still prepare as much as you can in your control. And I feel like people that are doing OnlyFans or people that are making quick money, they are focused on the today. They're not focused on what like Ronaldo said about later on in life, because you doing OnlyFans now, it's fine. You could be young, you could be a bachelor, you could be making all your meals. Now, we don't know tomorrow. You can make all your money and you could be coasting through and have a good 10-year stretch, right? Now imagine this, you're a parent. You've lived your life, you've done what you got to do. Imagine your 15-year-old child coming home. You're not doing OnlyFans no more. You've retired. Yeah, you've done your heyday. Your 15-year-old child comes home and says, Mommy, no, I'll change it. Your 15-year-old child has been funny lately at home. As soon as they come home, they lock themselves up in their room. One day you say enough's enough. You speak to your husband or your wife and they say, I'm going to go up to so-and-so's room and really find out what's going on. For the last 2 weeks, comes home straight upstairs. You open their room, you see alcohol bottles. You see they've got a blade and they're slitting their wrists. You're going to panic, right? Your child's going through mental health, yeah? You sit down with your child, you call your husband or you call your wife to come upstairs, you see all the alcohol bottles, you see that she's been self-harming. You sit down with her and you say to her, darling, what's going on? Like, why have you got all these alcohol bottles here? Why are you slitting your wrists? And then after a while of her opening up, you know, it takes time for them to open up. She goes, Mum, everyone in school is watching videos of you on Pornhub. Or someone from the, you know, social media is mad. Jeez. You can get archives from years ago. So you're retired now. You're some corporate woman. You know, you're doing whatever you're doing.
You might have even got over it. You might as well even regretted it.
Right.
Yep.
But then you find out your child, someone in school, you know, school's huge. There's 800 students. There's that one child. You know, there's always that one child. There's, look, guys.
That one idiot.
That's that one,
sorry,
you know.
guys.
Yeah, you know, it happens. Find that one archive of your mum in her heyday.
Oh, man.
Doing so-and-so. I'm going to be respectful on your podcast, but your followers and you know exactly what I'm talking about, you know. Imagine that. And that's now you done this 20 years ago. You never knew that your child, who's the dearest thing to you as a mother, is going to later on, this is going to come up. That's going to rip your heart out. And then on top of that, your daughter's seen you do this. It's on a social platform. It's on a this. It's on a that. You can buy it. The whole school, young boys are fascinated about your mom. You're getting bullied. You don't want to be here no more. Or it can even be worse. You didn't even find your daughter alive. You found her dead with a letter.
Oh, man.
These things are real.
No, true. Word, bro. Word.
These things are real life things. So it's all good. Get in the bag. Get in the bag now. But think about the bag, not just for now. Think about it for your grandchildren, your children. Like, is this money going to make me lose my integrity? Is this money going to make me lose my humanity? And is this bag just for now? If it's just for now, take time.
Take it out.
It's never that worth it. It's never that worth it. You know, so yeah, I would say I'm never going to judge anyone that's doing it. It's each to their own. How you pay your bills is how you pay your bills. But I just want everyone, whether you're legit, whether you're unlegit, whether you're a prostitute, whether you're OnlyFans, before you get your money, ask yourself, who is this for? And is this going to take away my integrity? Integrity is for life. That's until the day it's not even up until the day you die. It's the legacy. It can affect your children and your children's children. So at what cost are you going to do certain things to earn money? But as I said, I'm not here to judge.
No, of course, just a view, bro.
You know, it's just my view on things and why I even look at certain things now and what I'm doing. You know, I've not been perfect. Everyone's heard my story. I've done some things that I regret. But now I'm awake. I'm an adult now. I'm conscious. I'm sitting there thinking, that's a quick 10 grand. But if that 10 grand can then affect me in 20 years, I don't want it. I'd rather get the slow money that's going to keep my integrity. That's going to, you know, it's going to be.
I'm absolutely with you, bro.
Right.
Absolutely with you, man. And you're absolutely right, bro. I think, you know what? People, you know, I think with people, like when they're younger, bro, they think completely different.
Yeah.
And as they grow older, bro, it's just that's why I wanted your view on it, bro. And It's so true what you said, bro. It's just, you know, we have to think of what you're doing today will affect your tomorrow, bro. That is the bottom line, regardless of what, you know, people think. And I think with the newer generation, I feel like it's a lot more something they don't think about at all.
No.
And I hope they do, come to terms with the fact that, one day they might have to sit down and regret everything they're doing.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, bro, it's all archived. It's all on the net now for everyone to see.
Everything's there. Someone's going to screenshot it. Someone's going to save it. It happens.
Absolutely, bro. Ray, you know what? It's actually coming to an end now.
Oh.
I swear to God, I've been looking at it. If you look at me, I'm looking at the time.
Right.
I'm like, bro, how have we spoken? Only for 10 minutes up in there.
Yeah.
But that's it, my bro. Thank you so much for coming on,
No, it's a
Ray.
pleasure.
Before we go, one last message to your followers, for people that love you, support you.
Yeah.
I always end on with a nice note.
Okay.
So look at that camera, bro. Leave a little message for your people.
Thank you first of all for everyone that's supporting, everyone that's shared, everyone that's liked. Like I said to bro, I just genuinely want to normalize the algorithm. I think there's so much negativity in comparing. I want whenever someone sees my content, they can just resonate, they can get closer to God, they can find themselves, they can believe in themselves, and most importantly, like, it can refrain them from harming themselves or committing suicide. So thank you all for supporting. I'll leave you with one message. When you are on social media or when you are in real life and what's going on, ask yourself this one question: who am I doing this for? If you can be honest with yourself 99.9 times, if you ask yourself that question, who am I doing this for? If you realize that you're doing it for other people, you might stop doing it. It's a little gem there. Just before you press send, before you go to that party, before you sign that job, before you do that OnlyFans, before you do whatever, ask yourself this question: who am I doing this for? And I promise you, it's a game changer. Because a lot of us are doing things for other people. We're not actually doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for other people. And once you ask yourself that honest question, you'll actually realize, I actually don't know why I'm doing it for them. Half the people don't even like me. But anyway, take care. God bless. And thanks for having me on the show, brother.
No, but pleasure was all mine. So there you have it, guys. That was Raysefah. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace, love. We're out. Thank you.